Hello, Matt. Hello, Matt. I had this great rising. It's extremely early this Sunday morning, but I wanted to come on live because I'm charging early, so it only makes sense to do Uncle Coco Daily, while we're live and while we're up and out and still have a few minutes left before. Oh my God, So let's get Uncle Coco Daily. So here at Are You Mad? We're changing the narrative of Black men talk one podcast episode at a time while balancing our minds and bodies and our souls in a practical way that suits our lifestyle. Okay. Oh, while keeping mindful at 30 minutes or less. I knew something was off. I was like, something seems off. I said something seemed a little off as far as my spiel, but I didn't say it in the correct order. Anyway, so we are outside. It's early. So let's just get straight to Coco Daily so we get about it. Okay. Please hold. Let me pause this live and let me get Uncle Coco Pop play for us. Okay. Please hold. Let me pause this live and let me get Uncle Coco Pop play for us.
Lord, you know the situation in my life is not of my choosing. Give me the power to face each moment with a good attitude, knowing that these are your plans and trusting that is best for the future you have for me. Amen.
Amen.
Wherever you are, be all there for God. Good morning, blessed Sunday.
I like that. I can't wait to go back and replay that. But wherever you are, be all there for God. Hey! Very real, very real, very real, very real, very real. We may not all be where we want to be, but wherever you are, be there for God. That's some... Truer words have never been spoken. Oh my God. Gratitude for these messages. Just grateful for these words of encouragement. Keep us grounded, keep us focused. Remember, daily devotionals are awesome and they're great to kind of keep us uplifted, but we still have to read. We still must read the word. It's important for us to read the word ourselves so that we can receive what the word has for us too. Like, I just want to also throw that out there because, I don't want you to like, okay, I got the daily devotional for the day and I'm good. Yes, to a certain extent. I think the daily devotion, yes, to a certain extent. I think the daily devotion is kind of like our friendly reminder as far as like mindset, because again, here at Are You Mad? We're changing the narrative of Black mental health one podcast episode at a time by balancing our minds, our bodies, and our souls in a practical way that suits our lifestyle. So for me, the daily devotion reminds me like another seed being planted in terms of my walk, my soul walk, or my connection with, Creator, right? How I express myself in terms of gratitude, or how I correct or how I need to repent, right? And or correct my behaviors. I think I told you guys like a week or two ago, like it was like kind of a little bit of like the battle like between basically good versus evil. I don't even know how to. I think that's kind of like the fight, right? The fight is kind of trying to stay on the path, right? To stay on the righteous path. And whenever I say that, I kind of cringe in my spirit, but I get it, like, because you want to do what is true. When I say righteous, I get a little like cringe because I know people use that term, but they don't necessarily walk the walk. So that's why I kind of like when I said that. But I mean, it is true, to just try to travel the road less, right? The road less driven. It's not the easiest path, right? You gotta say no to a couple of things that you may want to say yes to. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by when that fighting the good, that fight of good versus evil. Oh my God, I had a really eye-opening moment for myself when I had been faced with some temptation. And not just temptation in more ways than one, and not just physical temptation, because but it was definitely tempting. Like, it was definitely tempting. But I remember before I proceeded with the encounter, so to speak, I'll just say it like that. I know I said a prayer, and I was glad that I said that prayer, because when it came down time to like interact, the person had said something that was, when it came down time to like interact, the person had said something that was that I was convicted immediately by the Holy Spirit. Like, you know what I mean? Either you're gonna go left or you're gonna go right. And it was at that moment, it was like, I feel like God used that person to respond in the manner in which they responded, because they got very serious with me. And their tone got so serious with me. Everything in that, within that energy realm it was like a spirit of, everything in that, within that energy realm it was like a spirit of correction. You know what I mean? And then that's when I was like, okay, you know what? Let me stop playing. Like, let me stop playing with God. Like, so I know, like, me go back and forth with, like, dib and dabbing, like, with some sin, so to speak. But I would just probably encourage you or recommend to just definitely say prayers, especially, just pray. I mean, you want to wake up prayed up. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, you want to wake up prayed up to, like, get you off your course. I mean, thank you. And it'll be so subtle, and you won't even realize that it's happening to you. You know what I mean? That you're being redirected. So I say stay prayed up, because as you stay prayed up, redirected. So I say stay prayed up, because as you stay prayed up, you will continue to see signs of correction to get you back in place, to get you back in line, to get you back on course. And like I said, I was having I think I told you guys, like, I was like battling back and forth, like, it was getting a little, it was like, should I? Like, a lot of the girlies are doing it. Like, should I do it too? And then that person was like, a lot of the girlies are doing it. Like, should I do it too? And then that person was like, yeah, we could, but this. No, because one thing I honor the most is respect. Thank you so much for that, love. One thing I honor the most, which I didn't realize it. But it's like, but it was always within me. It's like woven within me. And more the self-realization is like understanding that, no, I actually value respect. And more the self-realization is like understanding that, no, I actually value respect more than anything. I think respect is something, for me, it's something that is very priceless. And it's just something that it makes it a safe space for me when I'm respected. And yeah, and I didn't want to lose the dynamic of being respected. And so when they responded to the manner in which they did, it was like basically my respect could have been. And so when they responded to the manner in which they did, it was like basically my respect could have been lost. And that's something that I never want. I never want my respect to be lost. I never want to be spoken to or degraded or anything or oppressed, anything of that nature, or taken advantage of. Nobody wants that. So when they say, what is it? He who was free indeed. Like, those who believe in the Lord, like, like I get it. I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. I'm witnessing it. And it's like, yeah, stay in the light. No Diddy. Stay in the light. Stay in the light. And because it's sometimes just one wrong move. Like, I don't know what's going on. Lil Nas X just came into my heart and in my spirit right now. I don't know why, but like, you know what I just said, one wrong move, you know, like whatever he's going through, I'm like kind of tapped in, but I'm not as tapped in. But Lil Nas X is such a beautiful, like physically, right? Just a beautiful being, right? You know what I mean? Like he's got the complexion, he's got the body, he's just got the features. I'm sure, I think he has. I was listening to Armand Wiggins kind of do his recap on the matter. And, you know, they said he was suspected of ODing. And then they are saying that he also, tried to attack a police officer or like kind of swung at a police officer too. So, like Armand was mentioning about, I think Armand was like kind of doing like hypotheticals, like, you know, in terms of like, how did he get this far? Basically, how did like Lil Nas X, maybe how did he potentially got this far, you know? And then he was saying like, no, and then he was saying like, I think there were signs, like he was going back, how did he potentially got this far, you know? And then he was saying like, no, and then he was saying like, I think there were signs, like he was going back to his Instagram a little bit, kind of checking it, kind of like referencing to some post that was posted that were kind of like leading us there, like, you know, that may have led to where he is now. Mentioned that, you know, I think the mother had some issues with substance abuse, or is battling with substance abuse, and like, you know, with Lil Nas X potentially being in a position. This is all these are all speculations, obviously, but the point that I was trying to make is when I made that comment of one wrong turn, you know, and when I say one wrong turn, literally the guy, whoever was recording, made a turn and was in their car, and they were able to witness Lil Nas X making a wrong turn. Now, if that gentleman wasn't there, we would have known nothing about this. We would have known nothing about what's going on with Lil Nas X, right, and his lifestyle. But maybe this, hopefully, is the wake-up call, right, for Lil Nas X to kind of get back on track. If he was off track, even though, like, you know, the undies and the boobs. I mean, he was working it though. He's so cute. You know, some people are just so beautiful. Like, it doesn't matter what they're wearing. You're just still like, and he was just talking, babes. What did he say? Go ahead, babes. I love it. Go ahead, babes. That's gonna be about new. Go ahead, babes. Go ahead, babes. And just was still pleasant, you know. So that, I mean, I don't know if that's also a reflection of who he is within, you know, to still be just as pleasant. You know, in whatever euphoric state he was in. But I say all that to say, like, listen, just do our best to stay in the light, because there's different ways of distraction, you know, with guns blazing, you know, in terms of his sexuality, or, you know, in terms of perception, and he gave zero, you know what. And obviously he got what he needed to get monetarily, but now we got to check on him spiritually, right, and emotionally and mentally, and make sure that, like, he's good. So I hope that, you know, prayers up to him, that this was just a little, you know, a little bump in the road, right? Maybe his crossroads, you know, hopefully this is a crossroads for him, and hopefully he gets right back on the path. I know I was talking to a community member about it, and I'm just, you know, he was like, he's a rapper. I'm like, Lil Nas X is a rapper? I don't really classify Lil Nas X as a rapper, so to speak, because I know him from the I'm gonna take my horse to the, like, I think he is an entertainer. Rapper? I was like, why? Because he black? Anyway, I didn't, but then when I started listening to his music, I'm like, okay, I guess it's a little urban. He has some hip-hop beats, whatevs, like, but I gotta go back and listen. I gotta do my due diligence. So now I'm gonna take a moment to just listen to Lil Nas X Essentials today. That's what I'm gonna do on this Sunday. And we're gonna take a moment to just listen to Lil Nas X Essentials today. That's what I'm gonna do on this Sunday. And we're gonna say the podcast for the people. Please be sure to listen to Are You Mad? Streaming on all major podcast platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. So the podcast for the people. Please be sure to listen to Are You Mad? Streaming on all major podcast platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. Okay? Check us out on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. All right. do all the things, visit the website, okay? Some life path, some life, well, I do have life path series merchandise out. Please be sure to check that out, okay? I was born to lead, not follow, for all my life path 1 folks. If you know, you know, and all folks who are just bold and moving in their purpose, okay? If you know, you know, make sure you go ahead and patronize that. Only like a small fraction goes to me, like a very small percentage, like, but you know what I mean? The point is that for you to, you know, support. That's just like, you know, your token, sowing the seed of support. And I think that's all I have. Oh yeah, and always some what is it, those trauma-informed life coaching services is still available. So if you click on the website, I'm figuring out my website, y'all, but if you click the actual service, it's only going to display one. But if you click on that one that's available, you can then click on list all services. I gotta take a moment to really look at that, but it is there. So if you just, you know, play around with the website and just kind of click around, get yourself acclimated with it, it'll continue to obviously grow and be a little bit more user friendly. Because even me, I'll be on the website on my mobile like, what? This what it look like? But you know, we still gotta do what we gotta do out here in these streets. Okay, so I'm gonna go because I stayed on a lot longer than I intended to, but it's all good because it's all for the greater good. And you know, we just, you know, do what we do and allow spirit to use us. But yeah, shout out to Uncle Coco Dilly today. I want to do a recap on that. Wherever you are, be all there for God. Period. Let's not forget. Let's not lose sight of the assignments. Amen.